Hey guys, Becca with Mama Hodge Crochet. Coming back to join you for another episode. Thank you for visiting my channel again. I just got back from my daughter's award ceremony. They call it a candlelight ceremony. The kids are all presented with awards and um, just recognized for who they are and what they're going to be doing. If we did it at the graduation with the scholarships and everything else, we'd be there for 4 hours. So they have it every year, a couple of days before graduation, and the kids are all recognized, given awards, and after that, they all gather around in a line, and they come through this castle thing, and they all light a candle with the lights off, and then they come down the stairs and they circle around the entire auditorium with their candles lit, and it's the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. I cried like a baby. My daughter, the pictures that she chose for the video montage, she didn't tell me which ones she chose, so it would be super emotional for me. So I cried really hard for that. And then they did a musical type thing. All the seniors, it took them a while to make each group, whether it be the football players, cheerleaders, the welders, the tennis. They just kind of went around and did a different song with each group of people and put it all together, and it was pretty cool. And I was really sentimental at that point too, because she was cheering on there at a football game, and it just just knowing that that's done just makes me super sad. I know she's going to college here, and she's going to be cheering at the college here, so I'll have that. But there's just something about her being the baby of the five, and no more high school, and all that good stuff. So it's just been an emotional week, emotional day. We have family here. Just got here. My ex-husband passed away a few years back, and I always made the promise to him that no matter what, I would keep his wife's family and wife and their kids together, a part of Alyssa's life, and allow them to do that. And of course, they were a big part of her life growing up, and I know that it's super important, and I'm just glad they were able to make it down. We've got baccalaureate tomorrow. I'm not quite sure what they do for that. I just know it's another thing for the seniors. So we do that tomorrow night. And then Friday we have graduation. I'm going to try to keep it together. Anyway, so that's what's going on as far as that goes. My husband is about to be done with school. Alyssa's finished, but my husband teaches the high school math and college math for the high school. So he's off for the summer, and I'm going to try not to kill him. He gets very bored easily, and he's a go, 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 go kind of guy, and it can kind of make you feel like you should be doing more. And it's just, it gets tiring after a while. You just sit down, watch some TV like a normal man. But no, he's got to do projects, and he's got to spend money, and he's got to keep himself busy. And, I say that I get sick of him being around all the time, but by the time summer's over, I end up missing him when he goes back to work. But I get into, my routine of doing different things, different days around the house, and being by myself and having my quiet time and being able to do my projects and stuff. And so I won't be able to do that. And I'll have to try to figure out when to film videos, because I'd prefer to have my alone time for that. It's kind of embarrassing when you're talking and they can hear you. But I'll give it a shot. Well, I wanted to share with you a couple things I got going on. I finished the Paris theme, diamond painting. I wanted to get it done before Rachel gets home from Vegas. She's out on a vacation with her fiance, visiting his family. So I got that done. I've got a frame coming for that. I don't know how to do the whole description box thing, but I'll try to link where I got that in case you guys are interested in what I did there. I started a new one. This is the Rose in the Glass from Beauty and the Beast. So I got that one going. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done. You can see that. Again, I can try to link that. It's coming out really pretty. I've decided that I don't like square drills. The Jack and Sally one that I showed you was the first one I ever did. And it was round, and then the Paris theme, that's round. And so this one is square, and it's just more, you got to be more precise with your placement of the diamonds if you want it to look right, because otherwise they want to pop out or they want to move and leave gaps in places. And I've kind of just started, I did a whole section where I was putting, 8 to 9 at a time, and it went by really fast, but then I had to sit there and fight with it, trying to get them all to fit in there correctly. So the second section that I did with just one at a time in like a grid pattern, and it actually was more relaxing doing the one at a time, which I was surprised with. I don't feel rushed. I don't feel like I'm trying to hurry up and get it done. Pardon my camera. I'm trying to steady it. I started my son-in-law, soon-to-be son-in-law's blanket. So this is the ripple stitch that I'm doing. Pardon the yarn ends. I don't like to do knots. So what I end up doing is when I get to sort of the end of the skein and I need to go on to another one, I just drop it and then start with the new one. And then I'll just do a light little tie and then weave it all in when I'm finished with the blanket. It's coming out really pretty. I love the colors. I think they're gorgeous. It's really soft. I like it. So that's what I'm working on. It's only been a couple of days, so I don't have a whole lot to show you. I did finish the shawl, but it's hanging up by the front door because I wore it today to the graduation. We've got some more rain coming in. Speaking of rain, since the last time I saw you, we've been hit with a couple tornadoes around the area, and heavy rain and just the hail and everything that, tornadoes bring. And it's just been crazy. We had the first sunshine yesterday, sunshiny day, but then it was just yucky because it's, so wet now everywhere. I saw a commercial about this Ridex or something like that, or it's like a little thing that you can set on your shelf and it pulls all the moisture out of the air and fills up with water, which is really neat. Might look into getting some of those because we live in a raised house. And I've noticed, we've lived in so many different places, but I've noticed that the houses that we've had that have been raised there's more moisture in the air inside the home. I don't know why, but I've just noticed that it gets like that. So I think I'm going to look for those little bags. If you guys have any ideas on what I could use, leave me a comment. Some tricks and tips that you might use around your house to get the moisture out, because I just can't handle that damp feeling, let alone the damp, smells. I mean, my nose is like a dog nose. I just have serious sensitivity there. It's insane. Let me get a drink of water here. Hang on just a second. My mouth is super dry. You see my teddy bear? Cheryl made that for me. Well, she made it. I'm going to say she made it for me, but I purchased that from her. Totally love it with yarn and hooks. See, bolts. Yeah. I was going to show you my unraveled mitten squares, but I didn't grab them, so I'll show you those on my next video. What I did is I purchased yarn from Ice Yarn because I don't really have a stash. I don't have a craft room. I have 3 chests over here, that I'll show you in another video that I store all my yarn in. We've always had a 5-bedroom house because 5 kids. But when we decided we were going to retire, we always said we're going to rent until we retire and then we'll buy, because we're moving around every 1.5 to 3 years, and there was just no point in buying everywhere we went, so we rented everywhere. When we moved here, I said, well, when we buy, I want it to be our forever home. So being that all the kids had moved out except for one, I had my mom living here with us for a while. I was taking care of her because we, long background of medical stuff. I'm a genetic nightmare myself, but that's a whole nother long story. That's why I relate so well with Billy, because I also have some pretty severe fibro, and it's a battle to live with every single day. The pain and the fatigue and everything that goes with it, memory problems, all of that. So when she started talking about that on her channel, Crafty Floridian, it just really hit home with me, and I felt like I had a kindred spirit, that I could relate to and that understood. That's why I just had to make her all that stuff and send her that box of goodness, because I love to spoil people and send them things, and every time I see something, I think of somebody that would love that, and I just wish I could give everybody everything. Anyway, I kind of went off topic there. Squirreled. Oh, that girl is so funny. I love her. Anyway, I thought I'd introduce you guys to Bella. She's over here sleeping. Let me grab her without shaking the... This is Bella. Can you say hi? She's like, I was sleeping, Mom. She's kind of scruffy right now. She gets to be real pretty when she's groomed, but she's my service dog. I have a heart condition called sinus tachycardia, and it's not like a big heart condition. It's just my heart beats at 135 resting if I don't take medicine. Thank you. And so basically she'll do what she just did. She can feel when my heart rate gets too high if we're out and about. I used to need her more when we lived in Vegas. She came with me everywhere that I went, because it's a high anxiety type of place, and that didn't help matters any. She just kind of cries a bunch and lets me know, and she'll just lick me wherever for a long period of time. She's such a sweetheart. She doesn't quite understand why I don't need her as much anymore, so she gets real upset if I leave and don't bring her with me. But she's doing a lot better. She's my sweetheart. Mama's baby. He's Mama's baby. Yeah. Are you Mama's baby? Mwah. He's my heart. I got lots of fur babies, but I put the dogs outside because they're being rambunctious right now, and Bella's always with me because she feels like she's gonna die if she's not with me constantly. I mean, of course. But trying to remember where I was at in what I was talking about. Anyway, so my mom couldn't handle the weather here. She feels a lot better when she's out in California with my aunt. So she moved back, drove her out there. It's like after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas. And since then, my daughter wanted to move home. She was the one to stay or go back to Vegas after we had lived here for a year or so, because her fiance and his family and everything all lived out there, and she wanted to go be with him, which I don't blame her. And they lived for a couple of years out there, but then she just started missing her family and wanted to be near us, and so they moved back out here. It's been a few months. It was right before Christmas too, so it was like kind of perfect when my mom had gone and then they came out. They actually lived with my son for about a month before they were able to move in here. And now they live here in the front bedroom, which was my mom's. And then Alyssa has the bedroom next to that. And then we have our bedroom, and the fourth bedroom we have as an office, and it doesn't seem like a bedroom because it's the office. It doesn't really have a closet, very big in there or anything like that. So it's a perfect place for a cat box. And yeah. So my dream is whenever the kids are happy and ready to be on their own, or, Alyssa's ready to start her journey in life after school, one of those rooms will become my craft room. My biggest dream is to have what Krista's got, a secret yarnery. That'd be gorgeous. I don't want to copy it, but I love the colorscape and everything else. The rest of my house is kind of dark browns and teddy bears and things like that. So bright colored blankets and things just wouldn't go. So I'm gonna try to have a room that's all mine. I'd like to put like a drafting table in there to do some diamond painting. Have a nice couch and recliner or something where I can sit and crochet and put my feet up and have Bella in there with me. I want it to be hair free. Since, like I said, since Rachel and Andrew moved in, they have 3 cats, and added to my 3 cats, it's just hair, hair, hair. Because last year we took all the carpet out of the house because I was just, you can't have pets and carpet. You just can't. Not a lot anyway. There's always going to be accidents. There's always going to be a need to clean it. We were cleaning the carpet once a month, and it was just insane because I have to have everything clean, and because of my sensitive nose. So we decided to put hard floors down over the summer last year. And since that, hair accumulates so fast. I will sweep and mop, and not 2 days later, you've got clumps and the little hairballs and in corners and everything else. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I want a craft room that no cats are allowed in. I love all my kitties so much. Love all my animals. They are my children now. That my kids are all grown. I'm taking care of them all day long, and we're just a family, and we have our routine, and they all need their individual love and attention, and they're just all sweethearts. But I would love to just have a room where, while I'm working with yarn and I'm crocheting, I don't have to worry about lint rolling constantly. I mean, I'm always lint rolling myself before I start a project. The cats want to lay with me, and I know, I can't right now. Hi, Rue. Come here. Rue came in here. You guys can see him if he'll come up here. Come here. Come here. Well, come here, baby. This is my Maine Coon. What are you doing? He's a big lover. You gonna say hi? What is that? He's a good boy. We found him, actually. We lived in a town called Skellytown when we first moved here. We were going to buy this big church that had been converted into like a log cabin home. But she needed to sell it really fast, and we weren't quite ready to buy. So we moved into town. But while we lived out there, we had a lot of stray cats that we were feeding and taking care of. Let's see so you can see his face. And he was not wanting to be touched. He was the hardest one out of all of them to let us touch him. But as soon as we did, boy, he can't get enough now. He comes and meows, and he loves it. Really super rough love, which is funny because you feel like you're hurting him, but he loves it. And if you don't pet him hard enough, he'll shove his hand down in you, or his head down into your hand. He's a sweetheart. I love him. Okay, come on. But yeah, hair everywhere again. But, I guess I have like an OCD problem when it comes to everything being clean and perfect and stuff. And that's just, okay, he wants to cuddle apparently. So I'm constantly, if I'm working on a project, I'm kicking the cats out of the way because, I don't want cat hair. You're sitting there, you're crocheting, and then you're pulling hairs out. I shed enough with all my hair. I don't need the cats to do it too. But yeah, so one day I'll have the craft room. I know I will. It might be a couple of years because, I want Alyssa to go, go to college and feel like she's not pushing herself with school, but then having to work and then trying to live on her own, which I know she wants to eventually, but we're trying to talk her into staying because all the kids have moved out right away. Sort of. We've had a couple that it sucked because when we were in Vegas last, the twins graduated high school. But then they knew we were going to be moving in less than a year and they wanted to come with us. And so it was like, how do we start college if we're going to be moving in less than a year? So they both had gotten good jobs and were working and everything. And then when we moved here, they moved with us and the girls. And Aiden had lived in Colorado Springs still because we had lived there. And after he graduated high school, he stayed when we had to move back to Vegas. So when we had to move out of the house out in Skellytown and move into town, we had to do a little small rental. And it only had 3 bedrooms. So we could all try to squish in there, but it was a really, really tiny house. I called it the tin can house. Because we went from, 5,000 square feet to like 800 or something like that. It was crazy. We put like 60% of our household items in storage and lived there. And I just pushed and pushed and pushed to try to get the credit scores high enough to buy, because through a VA loan, it has to be higher than a standard loan. And so we were trying to hurry because it was a 6-month lease. And yeah, and it all fell into place perfectly. We had to be out of there in May. Everything worked out April, and we bought the house and still had like 3 weeks to get everything taken care of and moved in without rushing and everything. So that was really nice. I feel like I'm just blabbering on and on and on, but us women, our brains, man, can be talking about one thing and go off onto a whole another thing. What else? Yeah, so, one day I'll have my craft room and maybe I can do my videos and stuff in there. But this is where I sit. This is my little corner. I have a basket that I put all my, whatever project I'm working on, I put that in there. I have my yarn stored in 3 white wooden chests that stack on top of each other next to the entertainment center. And I just keep everything kind of put away. And so I can't wait until the day I can have everything displayed. And, because when I do see yarn, it does jump out at me and kind of give me ideas of what to do. But like I said, I'm more of a maker than a creator, but it doesn't mean you don't ever have those creative moments. So being able to see the yarn would definitely spark a little more creativeness. So I don't know when I'm going to make a video again this week, because like I said, we've got all these people coming in and we're going to be running around. And my husband, I want to try to record maybe a video where I'm diamond painting and just talking. Or if you guys have any ideas of what I could record, I'm all ears. But after Friday, everybody's home. I'll figure something out. I know that I will. My husband spends a lot of time outside. Alyssa's always gone. I could film outside, introduce you to more of the animals. Yeah. So I just want to thank this community. I watch so many different wonderful, wonderful people in this crochet community. A couple in the diamond painting community. And I just love the camaraderie. It's everybody seems to know everybody. And everybody just loves on everybody. And I just love that. Like I said, I don't really have anybody I can talk to about yarn except my daughter-in-law, but I don't see her very often. So I just, you try to talk to your husband about it and he smiles and listens and acts like, he's interested, but he doesn't know what the heck you're talking about. It's like him trying to talk to me about math. That's not going to happen. It's like Charlie Brown's teacher. I don't get it. I will never get it. But I'm good at English, so I help him with that. Speaking of my husband, it's so funny. I cannot go anywhere with this man. Anywhere in this town. He is literally like a celebrity. All the kids love him. All the teachers love him. He's got this great, personality, but he's strict and everything, and the kids really respect that. And the kids even made him a fan page on some social media. I don't know what it is. It's ridiculous. We go somewhere and everybody's like, "Hi, Mr. Hodge. Hi, Mr. Hodge. Hi, Mr. Hodge." And I'm just standing there like, "Hi, Mrs. Hodge over here." It's all right. Whatever. You guys won. You guys won him, not me. So, it makes you feel even more lonely. Like everybody is just like, doesn't even know you. So the community of crochet that I've found is just so awesome. I'd like to join in and be a part of, mail-in swaps and making things for people and, sending happy mail and doing all that. And I've kind of done that. I sent Billy a package. I sent a couple cards out. Still waiting for Mary from Mary's Crochet Chit Chat in England to get hers. Or Ireland, England. Seriously, I'm tired. In Ireland to get hers, and I sent one to Krista, the Secret Yarnery. Just to say thank you for being so inspirational and so amazing. I love it when they get on and they just talk about just such inspirational stories and vulnerabilities and everything, and that just kind of tell you it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to have depression. It's okay to have pain. It's okay. It's just okay. When you're in the military lifestyle, you push yourself to try to be a stronger woman. I'll never forget my husband's first deployment. Our first year together was 2001 to 2002. And during that time, we moved to San Angelo, Texas, and because he had to get 62 or 64 credit hours, but the military was only going to allow him 11 months to get it done. So he had to find a college that was willing to give him only 11 months to get done with all these credit hours. So Angelo State University was the only one that was willing to do it. So we picked up and we moved out there. And at that time, we had just been dating for a few months, and we both just knew, we wanted each other forever, but we still were in that stage of, let's live together and see how we do with each other's kids and all that kind of stuff. But when we lived out there, we had different a way of doing things. He was kind of the disciplinarian to his three, who were 8 and the twins were 6. And then I kind of disciplined mine. But you don't have to, it's not too much with that when you got a 3 and 1 year old. So when we moved back to Vegas, I went from college life. I'm going to put this down so you guys can see him. College life, taking him to school, taking the kids to school, keeping the house, picking the kids up from school, making sure they had a snack, making sure he got picked up, making sure dinner was cooked, the mom thing. And but he was the more, I made sure the kids were taken care of and that they had everything they needed, but I wasn't the one to kind of discipline them if they did anything wrong. So we get to Vegas, and we had been there 2 weeks, I think. And while we were gone, 9/11 happened. Or right before we left. It was into that. Yeah, it was right before we moved. But he had his job to do, which was get his degree, because he wanted to become an officer. He was prior enlisted for 16 years, and he wanted to transfer over and become an officer. It was always his dream, and I pushed him to achieve that. I knew he could do it. I knew we could do it. So after we'd been there for 2 weeks, he comes home and he says, "I've got some bad news." I said, "What's up?" He said, "Well, I'm getting deployed." And I just, you go from my first experience in my relationship with him for an entire year. Like I said, he was just going to college. It was like a college life. I hadn't been introduced to the military life yet. My dad was in the military when I was growing up, but he wasn't in our lives, so I didn't know. And so yeah, it was a shocker. I had 5 kids under the age of 10, and it was just instant. Your mom and dad. You've got to do it all. You've got to discipline them. You've got to keep them all in line. You've got to feed them. You've got to clothe them. You got to bathe them. You got to. It was an insane 6 months, but we got through it. I feel like a lot of my medical stuff came up sooner for me in my life because of how hard I had to push myself as a mom and as a wife in the military, because we moved 11 times, I want to say. And every time we would move in between places we went, we'd always end up back in Vegas. But we moved a lot. And I wanted the girls to have their dad, as much as they could in their life. And so we would always move back to Vegas to, so they could have time with him too. But we lived in Vandenberg Air Force Base in Lompoc, California, in between Santa Maria and Santa Barbara, right there on the coast. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Went back to Vegas. Then after Vegas, we went to Colorado Springs, Colorado. Favorite place I've ever lived. I knew everybody on my block. Everybody was involved in everybody else's, lives, as far as we had game nights, and we had pampered chef parties, and we had, it was just really fun. But it was awesome because everybody was military, so it was a lot easier to meet everybody else. A lot of Canadians that are in the military are stationed out there. My husband taught math at the Air Force Academy, calculus to the cadets. And it was my favorite place to live. I worked at the bank and there on base, and I had a really good time. Then we moved back to Vegas, and then that was the time we lived in Vegas the longest. We lived in Colorado Springs the longest out of all of the places we had ever lived before. It was 4 years. And then we moved to Vegas, and we were in Vegas for 4 years. And then it was time to retire, which was super emotional because you have all of these people in your life. It's a family. The military is a family. And we moved here, and like I said, about family. But it was just, I felt like, and then so did he, we had all these friends and stuff when we were out there, but he wanted to move here, and we thought it would be nice because we both hated Vegas as far as, so much going on, and it didn't help his PTSD. And stuff, because he's been deployed 7 times. He's been in a lot of different war zones and different things, and he needed quiet and calm. And Vegas was not the place for that. So we moved here, and I have a happy life. I have my family and everything else. I just don't have any girlfriends or anything like that, because I'm at home all the time, and I don't get out a whole lot. So I just know people by face, talk to them for a minute. I don't know if you can hear my dogs barking. But you miss the family, you miss the military family and everything, and both of you can get kind of down. He'll get down and into his, because a man that is in the military or a woman that is in the military, in my opinion, always needs another military person in their life to be able to talk to and to be able to vent to about being deployed and about military life. Because no matter what I say to him, no matter what I try to be there for him and everything, it's not the same, because I have never been deployed, so I'm just not going to ever get it, in his opinion. But he still, he's opened up a lot more since retiring than he was able to. He had the highest clearance you can possibly have in the Air Force. He flew the Predator drones, and he doesn't like when I call them drones, but and he taught at the Air Force Academy with that, and that's when he fell in love with teaching. So all the deployments and everything else, and the lives that they take and stuff, that they never get over that, and they have to be able to talk to somebody about it. And you can be there for them, and you can make them stronger, and you can make them feel like they have that person. But they'll never really open up, and I understood that the whole time he was in the Air Force. I just knew, don't ask questions, because I'm not allowed to answer. And I've never been a real invasive person like that, where I'm like, I need to know what you're doing. He just went to work, did his thing, he came home, we had our life at home. And that's the way it is now too. He'll come home and talk about the kids and stuff, but still, they just give them their space. They go and they do their thing, and then they come back, and you guys enjoy your life together. But I think the military makes marriages either fall apart, because there's women out there and men that can't handle the life, the spouses. It's a hard life, but then you have others that makes you stronger. It really does. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better parent. It makes you a better spouse, because you have to live the tough times of being alone and worrying. Are they okay? What's going on? And it just makes you have a better relationship, because if they get deployed a lot like that, you have to live without them, and they're gone for 6 months or more, and you get used to life without them there, and then when they come home, it's like everything's all new again, romantic and everything, and so it just kind of renews it, and so it just makes you stronger as a couple too, because you have to put up with a lot. Faith, gotta have a lot of faith, gotta have trust. Gotta have love, and just be there for each other, Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My phone had said something to me. Love. That's basically where my mind is right now, is just, you gotta love one another and be there for one another, because it's real easy to be catty. It's real easy to be gossipy. It's real easy to look down on people and say things that would, hurt them, leave mean comments on YouTube or thumbs down and stuff like. I don't understand all that. A lot of people are more, they're a lot more willing to let you know when you do something that they don't like, or give you a thumbs down if your video isn't something that they're interested in. But me personally, I guess, I love everybody. And so I'll overthink letting someone down. I'll overthink people's emotions. I'm very, very Taurus like that. I'm a May baby. Mother's Day and my birthday were on the same day this year. Just I grew up being taught to love everyone and shine God through you in other people's lives. And so I just think everybody should try to love each other as much as possible. Try to be uplifting and make somebody's life better if you can. It's not all about you, and it's important that you make other people feel loved and appreciated and important and uplifted. That's our job, I feel, in life. In our lifetime, it's our job to make everybody we come across feel special. Well, I've talked a lot on here. Now I have to try to figure out how to combine this video with the last video, and I don't know. I'm not very technological when it comes to trying to edit and combine, and I commend all these people that add music and have all these. Krista adds those extra things, and she's made a little avatar of herself or whatever that is, little cartoon character, coming up with a logo, all those things. I think it's really, really neat. I'm gonna figure it out. I know. I'll YouTube it. I'll YouTube how to edit a YouTube video. All right. Well, I guess I'll go. I don't know what time everybody's coming over tonight, or if they're coming over tonight. So I'm going to try to get some rest in between. It just takes a lot out of me to go and do stuff with the fibro. My insurance decided they weren't going to pay for my fibro medication anymore. So they want to put me on a different one. And I don't like, that one just really messes with my brain. And I was on it in the past, and it's kind of rushed the forgetful thing that runs in my family. We have a really big memory problem. It's like a deficit. I mean, we all have like a form of ADD or ADHD, and the way that it affects us is retention, short-term memory issues. Long-term's fine, but the short-term, as we get older, gets more and more harder to live with. It frustrates the family and everything else, and I understand completely. My husband will tell me he told me something, and I swear he didn't, and he gets frustrated, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just, I can't remember. So I have to write things down. But yeah, so when I do stuff like go today to the candle lighting, I mean, that thing started at 10 o'clock, so I got there at 9:15, make sure I could get a seat, and it ended at 1. Yeah. 2. 1. Something. Long. It was very long. Just getting up, getting myself together, getting all the animals taken care of so that they can all be where they are supposed to be when we leave. Making sure the cats are fed, making sure their boxes are clean, making sure, the house is the way I want it for company coming. And not that it's not always kind of put together, but still, you want it to be, however. So I just kind of worn myself down. So I'm going to try to do some resting. Probably going to work on this blanket for a little bit because it's a little bit more mindless than the diamond painting. The diamond painting with the squares takes a little bit more focus, and the blanket just goes by. I can sit here and turn something on TV, and it's more of a mindless thing because it's not a. I mean, I'm counting for the ripples, but you start doing it, you don't even realize. So I'm going to do that. Let the puppies back in so they can be comfy and take a nap. And spend some... Oh, doorbell. I must have a package. Spend some time with Rue. And yeah. So thanks guys for coming and visiting with me again. And if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, just leave them down in the comments below, and I'll try to get back to them. I read them all. If I don't comment back, I'm sorry. I don't, sometimes I don't know what to say back. But I definitely read them and take them in, and I'll try to comment back. I'll see what I can do. And until next time, thank you for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video. Talk to you later, guys. Happy crocheting.